you have prayer for us?
Hold on 1 second. That's the wrong. Okay. And how much is this? 1 cup.
If y'all want to make a whole lot, double or triple that, do your recipe 3 or 4 times, however much you want to do.
How much water will we need?
For each one of those batches, you need 3/4 of a cup. Y'all ready? Come on. Okay, for each base of gluten mix, you need 4 cups of vital wheat gluten flour, 1 cup of flour. If you want to do a whole bunch, just keep doing that how many times you want to do it. If you want to do it 4 times, you need 16 cups of vital wheat flour, 4 cups of all-purpose, 2 cups of yeast flakes, 2/3, no, cup and a third. Anyway, put all your dry ingredients in the bowl.
Okay, so
Miss Jody, what are you putting in there? Vital wheat?
I'm putting in all white. The all-purpose flour, I'm putting the 1 cup into my bowl. But this is only half a cup measurement, so that's why I need 2.
Make sure your cup is full.
Okay.
Wanda, do you need more gluten flour? How many are you doing?
I'm doing 1 batch, she's doing 1 batch.
Oh,
Is that not what's right?
yeah.
What do we need it to? Oh, I did the flour.
You want to mix up more than 1 batch?
Well, we'll just do the 1 batch now.
Because I have a whole bunch over here.
Okay. Half a cup of flakes.
I'm measuring out 4 cups of vital wheat, and 1 cup of white. And I'm putting a half a cup of yeast flakes. I'm putting a half a cup of yeast flakes in it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
And 1/4 a cup of chicken seasoning. And I'm putting 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. And 3 tablespoons of onion powder.
Just get some of her vitamins and the toughest one. Miss Dena? Oh, let me get it.
Yes.
I tell you.
1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to stir it all up.
They are cheap dumplings. Here and kitchen
You can heat that up. You don't have to. I heat mine up. Huh?
Smells good. The garlic.
Okay then.
Okay, everybody got your mix made?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, stir it up with your hands.
Okay.
Did you ever hear Grandma making biscuits, how she takes it and does like this? That's the way I do it. Turn it around and stir it all up.
Okay.
And when I do this in the kitchen, this recipe says 1 cup to make the gluten steaks, but I use 2. I double it. And I happen to have one of these great,
1 cup of what?
Water?
no, use 2 cups.
2 cups for the whole thing?
Of the...
Yeah, let's do 2 cups. 2 cups of mix. And I'll tell you something that's really important. It makes a difference. If you get it, when you put the water in there, you have to mix it up real quick like. But if you get it too thin, then your gluten falls apart.
Okay.
But if you don't get it enough, it turns into gristle. So I'm just measuring out 2 cups. And I just take it and I shake it and tap it so it's all done. And kind of like, if you see that's kind of rounded, it's got a little bit too much. So I'm going to take a little bit off.
Okay.
And it's kind of rounded.
All right.
If you have less than that, it'll be too thin. So I'm going to mix it up in this, and I'm going to put it in my little bowl here. And for that, I need 1.5 cups of water instead of 3/4 of a cup. And I have one of these great, Martha, what is this lady that does this?
1.5 cups of water
Pioneer Woman.
goes into 1 cup of the mix.
No, we're doing a 2. We're doing 2 cups of,
So you put 2 cups of mix in that bowl.
yes. And for each cup of mix, you need 3/4 cup of water. So I've doubled that. So I need 1.5 cups of water.
Okay.
And it's good to have a 3/4 cup measure, or if you use one of these, you just need to, and have it right on 1.5. I don't know where 1.5 is on here. 3/4 and 3/4 is 1.5 cups.
2 cups goes in there.
Okay, y'all ready?
No, I was talking to Miss Dena.
Okay, I'm going to pour this in there and see if it turns out good.
All right, you pour it and I'm going to make
I've got 1.5 cups of water in here, and I'm going to mix it up real quick like. And just mix it all up and get it all mixed together.
Yeah.
As soon as the water touches it, it turns to gluten.
Is your water warm or is
It's a little warm.
it's a little warm? So we're going to go to some warm. All right, so the rest of this mix, Ms. Dena, I can just actually just combine it all and then put it in Ziploc. And then when I'm
Yeah.
ready to do
Yeah.
what you're doing,
Yeah.
okay then.
Or you can make a big pot of it and cook it anytime you want.
Oh, okay.
Freeze it or cook it. I usually cook it first and then freeze it.
Okay, so this is what? Which one is the two?
Oh, this one.
This is the two.
And if you got this good and measured good, it should turn out like this. Then you need to knead it.
Oh, wait, I want to feel.
If it's a little,
Use 1/2 cup. She needs to know because you have to.
1.5 cups.
and you need to knead it a little bit. This like this will make a nice tender gluten. And it's all mixed up. It doesn't have any gristle in it. Knead it like you're kneading bread.
Okay. I was just about to ask that.
And then make it in a long roll like this. And then what I do with it is take it and wrap it in some saran wrap.
Okay, hold on one moment. I just want to come and feel yours to make sure mine feels the same weight. If you don't mind. Let me come.
If you get it measured good, it'll turn out. But sometimes it's too dry and you have to add a little touch of water. If it's wet, you have to add a little bit more.
Oh, see, yours is a little wetter than mine. Mine's a little dry.
That's good.
It's good?
Yeah,
Okay.
Is it
that's good.
dry?
Little more water.
You need to knead it a little bit. If you don't knead it real good like that, That's why I do it real fast.
Okay.
Because it gets you too, you know, it like.
Okay, so it doesn't
get-
need more water then? Just
No, you just need to
Okay.
stir it some more.
Teacher, how is it?
It's a little stiff.
Stiff.
Knead it like bread. You gotta knead those pieces.
Oh, okay.
But
More.
little less mix or a little more water.
Okay.
Then you knead it in a. This would be more dense. This sometimes I have to squeeze the water juice out of it. But see, this is more dry right here. But you got more of it than I do, so that's why you need to. This is okay. It's good, but it's a little dense.
Okay.
Then you kind of roll it in a roll like this.
Should I like wet my hands and work
No,
on it?
it's okay. Once you get it like this, it's hard to do anything else with it, unless it's too thin. If it's too thin, you can sprinkle a little bit on the table and work it in real good. I got some stuff here. I wrap this stuff around it and let it set for about 15 or 20 minutes or longer.
I wanted to feel my gluten. I'm a gluten baby.
See, it goes quick.
Good.
Oh, I'm doing it wrong, Wanda. Then I take it and roll it up.
Knead it up. You may have enough. Come and let her feel it.
Wait, it can be too much?
Yeah, like bread dough.
Then kind of roll it up like that, and then you can refrigerate it or let it just set. And then it'll make about 18 slices or 16. You got a bigger.
Putting everything in. Yes. Say cheese.
Now sometimes it's. Here's yours. Okay,
Now
then.
what happened, like let's say I didn't put enough flour in there and it's too soft.
Well, it just fall apart.
Okay.
It did that not too long in the kitchen. If you don't have enough, and then you cook it, it's going to just fall and crumble up. That's why it's important to
really
tap it down and get it rounded, because if you get it flat across, it's not enough.
Ah, so we need the
So if you you tap it down,
okay.
tap it down, and then just round it. But if you have it real heaping, it's too much.
Okay, I see.
And also
then
with
I'm
measuring the water. If you don't get enough water, it's too stiff. If you get too much, you have to put a little bit more of this in it.
Okay.
And then I need to work it in so that it
doesn't all come
dissolves.
in one area. Right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, pull some of that out. And then if you roll it up like this and let it set, then you come through with a knife or scissors or something and
Just cut it while it's
Yeah.
wrapped?
no.
Unwrapped. Okay. That's a new thing if you'd have told me wrapped.
If you're making it for the school kitchen, you need to make a whole bunch of batches. I've never tried to do a whole big thing like that because it would be hard to mix up.
Okay.
So I just do it in 2 cups and then
just to
chop it
make
up.
the logs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that
all right,
way-
I understand.
What about the mixer?
The what?
I guess the beating though, because it doesn't need it sort of. I don't know.
We used to make it like
In the
that.
kitchen, we always put it here.
Okay.
That
now-
just keeps it kind of from spreading out.
And how long does this stay in the freezer? Let's say I'm not ready
No.
to cook this right this very minute.
As long as you want to put it,
In the freezer?
yeah.
Okay. Like that? You can put it in the freezer?
Probably
Like this?
if you put it in a bag or
In a
seal it good.
Ziploc?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I've never done it. I've always boiled it first.
Oh, okay. So we boil this first and
Yeah.
then freeze it.
Yeah.
So how long does it stay in here? Like this? Like right now I could take this, boil
Well, you
it.
could, but then I always let it set for a little while. And in the
Okay.
kitchen, we put it in the big trays and let it set, and then sometimes they cook it the next day or something.
Okay, what's a little while?
I don't know. It needs to at least set for about 15 minutes or
Okay,
20.
so let it sit for about 15 to
Yeah.
20 minutes in
In
this
the
boil.
meantime, I fix my broth and get the water boiling, then cut it and drop
then
it.
cut it.
Yeah. And if you can't get it all mixed up at the bottom, just put a little speck more water in there. See the gristle? Didn't get it mixed up good. I got some gristle in it. If you don't get it mixed up good, and that's why it's important when you measure it out to get that little rounded thing, tack it down first and get it a little bit rounded, and make sure your 3/4 cup is level but not. Whew. When it's a little bit, I just roll it a little bit in here to get it and try to hurry it. And try to get it mixed up so it would be. See, feel it now. It's a little bit stiffer, right?
Yeah, it's like
So if it's too soft, just sprinkle a little bit on there and just work it real fast. It's good. Maybe a little bit more in it. That's good. It's easy to do once you get it. Rolling pin.
Okay.
But you don't want it, then it grows bigger. And then you stir it, you stir it 2 or 3 times and cook it about 45 minutes, then I take it out. I dip it out with you can save the water and make gravy or something with it.
Okay. So you take it out.
I put about this much water in it.
This much water.
Here. That's enough to cook about three rolls. And then I just pour soy sauce in it.
You gotta measure soy sauce. Don't just pour
No, I don't.
All right, I'm gonna catch it. Okay. Just 3/4.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay, 1.5.
Yeah. See, it's dark.
Okay, and that's what she means.
When it
by-
comes into while that boils,
See that? That's dark.
when that gets to boiling, while that's on cooking, I slice it.
Okay, so you boil this, and when it starts bubbling,
Yeah.
then you start slicing.
No, I slice it if I put it on the stove right now, I slice it.
Okay. While this is heating to a boil.
Yeah. Then when this sets up, you can either cut it with the scissors or cut it with this.
So about the finger.
That first joint in your finger, I believe. Look at that. Ching! About to the first joint of your finger.
Well, sometimes this is kind of thick.
This is kind of thick. So it should be thinner than that?
Well, it can be, or
Depending on, I guess, where that first joint is. If you have long
then,
fingers,
then you can either mash it out like this. That makes a nice steak. And then when it boils,
That's a good consistency there, Isaac.
it's a good. And then when it gets boiling, you just drop it in the pot when it's boiling, and it'll sink to the bottom. But in the end, it comes back to the
So
top.
how do you know when it's done?
About 45 minutes, it's done. Yeah, you can tell when
When it's cooking.
yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause it's,
Then I take it out like this, or tongs.
Did you measure this water or is just?
She put about a gallon in, and I put some in.
yeah, I know it was just 3/4, but we can measure.
And then it needs to boil. You can turn it down, and then in the end, there's only about that much water left in the bottom.
Oh, because it absorbs the water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As it cooks.
Well, about 45 minutes it cooks it.
it cooks it out.
I boil it for about 45 minutes, and then I put it out on a
So it cools.
On a pan.
pan, kind of flat, so some of it gets turned up this way, but it's better just to leave it flat if you can.
Okay.
And then when I take it out of the pot and put it on the sheet, I lay it down flat. And I put a cookie sheet underneath it so it catches a liquid.
Okay.
That-
Do I need to re-wet them? Let's say I mixed all of that in this nice little bowl. All of that stuff is in
Okay.
this bowl. Do I need to re-wet my bowl?
Well, if you want to dip it in some
milk?
soy milk or something like that,
Okay.
or whip up an egg and thin and put it in there.
Okay.
I usually use an egg and whip it up an egg and dip it in egg and then dip it in that stuff and make it stick.
Yeah, like you're frying.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Our
Okay.
milk works the same way.
Okay.
Stick it in the oven. If you don't want to use the oil, you can put it in a hot oven and brown it that way.
At 350 as well?
Probably a little bit more.
Probably 400. But if I
Spray it, you know,
spray
with
the pan. All
And the
right.
skillet, do you just spray it or it needs more oil?
it takes quite a bit of oil. If you got it dipped and breaded, it takes a lot of oil.
Okay. Okay, guys, our cooking class is over. Thank you. And this is how you make Miss Dena's gluten.
Good luck.